So we all have goals, right? Things we aspire to do or be in the future. And we all want to achieve those goals and make them a reality, don't we? At first it might seem like Paprika is simply a surreal exploration of dreaming and the subconscious mind, and it certainly has enough bizarre imagery to justify that assumption. In fact, the surreal visuals and seamless, if disorientating editing, perfectly describe the peculiar logic of dreams and are easily one of the best parts of the film. But that's not what I'm going to talk about here. I'm actually more interested in what the film has to say about a different kind of dream, those of our desires and aspirations. The film follows Paprika, the dream world counterpart of Dr. Atsuko Chiba, as she enters other characters' dreams, at first to provide a new experimental treatment in dream therapy, and later to prevent these dreams from merging with reality. Despite the apparent focus on the dreams we create while asleep, connections are continually drawn between aspirational dreams and their nighttime counterparts, whether in Detective Konakawa's recurring nightmare of his past ambitions, the chairman's pursuit of power and control, or Osani's desire to be more important. But it is the DC Mini itself, the device that allows dreams to be entered and recorded, that starts to reveal the true tension between our dreams, our aspirational dreams, and reality, and suggests that we might not be as keen to attain our dreams as we think we are. Not everyone supports the DC Mini's development. Throughout the film, the chairman refers to dreams as sacred and not a place for technology. If we consider the implications this has on aspirational dreams, it conveys a fear not just of technology, but of the advancement and transformation it requires. The grand parade that progressively invades both dreaming and waking worlds is revealed by the end to be the chairman's dream, or more accurately, an entity that embodies both his dream and his nightmare. The mixing of traditional Japanese culture with both modern technology and Western or otherwise international iconography creates a frighteningly single-minded horde that just gains more and more power as it pushes relentlessly forward, seemingly towards modernity, multiculturalism and prosperity, but also chaos and confusion, and at the loss of our individual identities. While this might illustrate the chairman's desire for power and control, it is also what advancement looks like when we fear change. This anarchic image essentially manifests what philosopher Walter Benjamin proposed in his 1940 essay, Thesis on the Philosophy of History, and I think this is the perfect explanation and expression for these fears of time and change. Having been inspired by Angelus Novus, a 1940 monoprint by the Swiss-German expressionist Paul Klee, Benjamin described the angel as the audience to our history. His eyes are staring, his mouth is open, his wings are spread. This is how one pictures the angel of history. His face is turned toward the past. Where we perceive a chain of events, he sees one single catastrophe that keeps piling ruin upon ruin and hurls it in front of his feet. The angel would like to stay, awaken the dead and make whole what has been smashed, but a storm is blowing from paradise. It has got caught in his wings with such violence that the angel can no longer close them. The storm irresistibly propels him into the future to which his back is turned, while the pile of debris before him grows skyward. This storm is what we call progress. Like the unstoppable parade, much of the film in fact resonates with this storm, this representation of progress, development, and the passing of time.
But what about the rest of it?
This line, repeated each time Konakawa reaches the end of his recurring dream, establishes a clear focus on the future that is evident throughout the film. Little information is given about the characters' pasts. As an audience, we never learn the origin of Paprika or her place in the development of the DC Mini, how long she has existed or how she was created. Past events such as Paprika treating Dr. Shima are mentioned but never expanded on. This formation of character and narrative is itself similar to the disconnection of dreams, but also the future orientation of goals. This is part of a consistent tension between the past and the future, or perhaps between youth and experience. The events that haunt Konakawa, the short film he left unfinished and the friend he feels he abandoned, happened when he was 17, and it is the age in particular that is shown to be important, an age when our futures are so undefined before we begin to choose a path. This gives us a clearer sense of what it is that the chairman supposedly wants to protect. Masked in a reasoning of nature and natural order, the simplicity the chairman yearns for betrays the true fear, not just of change or loss of control, but also the disappointment, or more particularly the loss of possibility, that can result from making a dream a reality. The DC Mini turns intangible mystical dreams into something much more understandable and concrete, making them much more attainable. When the chairman says that dreams are destroyed by technological tampering, what is implied is that our hopes for the future are lost if we try or fail to attain our dreams, as our future becomes our present, and then our past. Dr. Shima has one of the most revealing lines on this subject.
I'd like to think back to our college years, when we used to talk about our futures and the possibilities awaiting us.
What he is wishing for here, and what Konakawa is haunted by, and what the chairman speaks of protecting, is not the past, but rather a lost future. As we learn about Konakawa's friend and their relationship, their narrative is mirrored in the film that plays on the wall, the film they made together that has led to Konakawa's rejection of cinema as an adult. The two characters are running throughout the whole film, a detective chasing a criminal despite their former friendship as children. They push relentlessly forwards, like Walter Benjamin's Storm of Progress, despite the flashbacks to their childhood revealing a desire to stop, to go back. Like the chairman's parade, this scene presents a symbol for the passing of time, but with an alternative approach. We cannot stop time, no matter how much we might want to, and we must accept that the possible futures we lose are the price we pay for existing in the present. Paprika is not just a film about transitioning between waking and dreaming, or the subconscious keys that could be held within our dreams. But I'm not saying it's just about aspirational dreams either. Like all of Satoshi Kon's work, Paprika can't really be reduced to one thing. There are so many things I didn't get to mention here, like how the recurring use of doubles and the visualization of these doubles reflects the film's philosophy of identity, how the film uses symbolism and folklore, how it reflects on the act of movie making itself, and on the ideas of acting, fiction and performance. But there is one scene, almost at the end, that ties all of these things together, and seems to offer an overarching message.
You're living out our movie in real life, Konakawa. A reality created from fiction. Always remember that.
Ultimately, Paprika is about this sort of negotiation between reality and fiction, between identities, and between the individual and the collective. And it's not about solving these problems, these oppositions, but coming to terms with them, understanding how one comes from the other. Throughout the various tensions in the film, past, present, stillness, movement, youth, experience, it is the navigation of dreams and reality, fiction and reality that remains central to the film. It shows us the mess that can result from making a dream a reality, both literally and figuratively. And it doesn't conclusively argue that this is either a good thing or a bad thing, but rather suggests that it is something we all must face sooner or later. And hopefully, whatever we choose or have chosen, our future can be informed, instead of controlled, by our past.
One ticket, please.
Hi everyone, thank you for watching, and I'm sorry I used the dub version of the film. I know that's a pretty taboo move in anime, but it just makes the editing process that much easier. Please do leave any thoughts you have on the video or the film down in the comments, and I hope I'll see you in the next video.